10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Live from Cobble Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into Ticket Weeknights. I am Harrison Arns running the board, and this is the Big Brothers and Big Sisters Hour right here to get Ticket Weeknights going. We have Kyle in here again from last week and special guests, Denora and Laura in as well. Guys, how's it going today?
Thank you, Harrison. Excellent. Thank you.
Yep, and then Kyle, it's good to see you back in studio, and I'm sure we have plenty of good stories ahead. And again, it's still January. We're still in that mentorship month. So again, if you guys have any questions, you can talk to the Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685, or you can also call in at the Honda of Lincoln hotline, same number, 402-464-5685. So that is a great way to join the conversation. And again, if you guys are interested, we have a lot of great people here to help you talk to you and kind of get you in the right direction. So Kyle, I kind of want to start with you here. Since the last time we've talked, what kind of events have you guys been participating in? And I know you have a few coming up as well.
Yeah, we just had our Mentor Month, the Big Social. Mm-hmm. That was in partnership with Cosmic Eye Brewing, and you guys out from the Ticket.
I know we had Jay down there for that one.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had it was Aaron Davis, Eric Strickland, and Chris Raff were also there too. Yeah, no, it was great. And honestly, the big socials, like I said last week, it's an event where we, celebrate our mentors, but also invite members of the public that are interested in learning more. And, honestly, we had a pretty decent turnout. A lot of the mentors came out. We had some of the newer mentors turn up too, which is always an awesome sign. But, that event in and of itself was great. We also had the raffle that we did with the ticket. We raffled off a Jason Peter jersey. It was signed by him, and it was just an awesome time. But today's like the last day of National Mentoring Month, and looking out into the future. In February, we actually are we're planning it's like a fundraiser event with Escape Lincoln.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is in the planning stages, but it's set to be on the weekend of February 24th through the 26th. You can come on out with a team of up to 4 to 6 people and, tackle one of Escape Lincoln's rooms. All of the proceeds go back to our efforts here at Big Brothers Big Sisters Lincoln. So
okay, and at that turnout too on that event you were talking about, I wasn't able to go, but I saw on Twitter it looked like you had a pretty big turnout. Was it pretty filled in there?
Yeah. Obviously some of the folks are regular patrons at Cosmic Eye Brewing, but at the same time on our end, I'd say the turnout was awesome.
Yeah, I love to hear that. And again, just pay attention. Like you said, you can join that escape room, and that is what days is those? February
24th through the 26th. We'll have a reservation page available soon. It's being put together, but if you follow us on our social medias, Facebook and Instagram, we'll keep you all in the loop there that way.
Absolutely perfect. And I like to start with Kyle right there at the beginning to kind of get us organized. And then we actually have Chris Raff texting in, who is one of the people there. He said, I had a great time. Thanks for having us, Kyle. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. So again, awesome. It's not like it was a great time. And again, that's why you got to pay attention to this stuff, because these guys are capable of putting together some great events. So I kind of want to go across the table here to Denora and Laura. So Denora, why don't we kind of start with you in your role here for Big Brothers and Big Sisters in Lincoln?
Well, I'm a mother. I'm a mother who have 3 crazy teenagers, zombies. There, it's amazing when we get into big brothers and big sisters. My three kids had a big brother, and we were talking about 10 years, we will say that, when I just get into Nebraska, being immigrant mom, it's too many things that we need that we need to figure out. And when we start, we start with a little, so we have too many crisis things, problems that as a parent are stresses for us. So sometimes we don't have time for every single of our kids. And when Big Brothers came to my life with my oldest child, was so awesome to get the support. As an immigrant, I'm not grow up here. I don't know how is middle school. I don't know how is high school. And to have a big brother there in your life, they're gonna help you to figure out things, how the things happen. I said everything is gonna be okay. I have this kiddo, and I can get some time, especially that time with your child, and so you can take care of the other things that are in your mind. So it was kind of a breathing time for me, and was also an awesome experience for my child. And that time, the big one of my oldest child, he was in the university, and now my child is in the university, and he's thinking to become a big too. So I'm so thankful about that.
That's incredible. And yeah, we hear that story a lot. It seems like the mentees a lot of times end up growing up and they want to do the same thing and be a mentor. So how old was the child when you had the big brother step in?
The first one was my oldest child. She was 7, now he's 19.
Okay.
And I have a daughter, she's 16 right now, and she started with Big Brothers as when she was 8, I guess. Again, the same story happened, and the wonderful thing, the big sister at that time, she started to get involved with us and understand how is our culture, how is, eat some food also at home. And my daughter also have, the presence of her big sister. She was kind of girly. My daughter is kind of girly. I'm not. So they were together. They bonding so much. They have so much fun doing cookies, doing stuff. And we also have the experience that the big sister of my daughter, she went to university. He studied, she's an attorney, and then she decided to do a major also in immigration. So it was just a complete family changed lives. So that's why we need to support Big Brothers and Big Sisters. For real, they are supporting people, and they are doing a great thing, working in the present for the future, I would say.
Yeah, I love to hear that too, because a lot of these people, they end up in tough situations and they think everything's too stressful. We can't afford to be a mentor or have someone be a mentee everything's too stressful. And then you hear a lot of times people do it, and then things almost become easier. It's not so much you giving things up; you get a lot in return as well. Again, if you guys want to join the conversation, Sartor Hamann text line 402-464-5685. So Laura, I'll jump to you now, and I'll kind of give you an open book. Where do you want to start with in terms of your involvement with Big Brothers and Big Sisters?
Well, my name is Laura, and I am currently the program director of Big Brothers Big Sisters. So I do a combination of match support and then also some program direction in terms of partnering with other organizations, partnering with the community, and making sure that we're following the standards of BBBSA, which is Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. I tend to talk in code because it's a lot of words, but so just trying to make sure that everything on the program side is running smoothly, implementing things that can be helpful for both the matches, the parents, the match support specialists whose job it is to check in every month or so with the family members. Janora and I were talking about that outside earlier. Today is the last day of the month. And so, we have some people calling saying, I really need to talk to Hannah. I really need to. So those are some of the things that I do with Big Brothers Big Sisters. I've been with this organization for 5.5 years. Kyle and I's anniversary date is really close.
I was going to say, you guys seem about the same timeline here.
He started in July of 2020. one. And then I started in 2017. But previously, I'd also worked at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Hastings
Okay.
out in South Central Nebraska. So I have a history with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I'm very passionate, and I love it when we get to hear from parents who are as passionate and as energetic as Denora to be able to share her perspective on what it's like as a parent, you know, handing your children over to the volunteers that we set them up with.
Absolutely. And I kind of want to wind back a little bit, even before you were worked with Big Brothers and Big Sisters in Hastings. Because if you're still listening right now, it means that there's a thought in your head, if you're a parent or you're just curious about the conversation, that there's something keeping your ear drawn to it. Why might you be so curious? And maybe there's just one step that you need to make to kind of land on that decision. So when you were thinking about getting involved, you know, getting through any sort of trepidation, what was that call that you're like, you know what, I do want to work with this organization because I believe in what they do?
Well, in Hastings, it's a relatively small community, and I went to my undergraduate was in psychology and sociology. I always knew I wanted to work with people and whatever that looked like in some sort of fashion of helping. And I knew that, you know, there's not a whole lot of options when you graduate with an undergrad degree in psychology. And so I knew that I would probably have to go on. So I did. I went on and went to UNK, got my master's degree in counseling. But they had then started working at Big Brothers Big Sisters part-time as a case manager. And once I graduated, I just knew that that's where I wanted to stay. And so here I am.
Yeah, and we're glad to have you here. It
Thank
worked
you.
out perfectly, it feels like. And obviously you said you deal with working on a lot of the matchmaking, right? Trying to make sure that process goes smoothly. And hearing
Yes.
from Denora, it sounds like you guys are doing a really good job. And I talked to Kyle a little bit about last week. But when you're putting those matches together, what are some of the things that you find like the most important, whether it's two positives that they'd be a good match or two negatives that, you know what, if it's this and this, these guys really might not make a good match?
Well, our enrollment process on both sides, both for the child and the big, I will talk about the big side a little bit because Denora is more of an expert on the parent side. But basically what we do in the enrollment process, obviously we do some training sessions. We give them all the information that you could possibly need to know in about an hour and a half. I just held one last night where we trained 4 new potential bigs. And so we really want to make sure that they understand the commitment, what their role's going to look like. Once they do the orientation, then we collect references and background checks because, of course, we need to make sure that these are positive, good influences for our children. And then we go through an interview process. We have an enrollment coordinator, and she does most of all intake information, including the interviews. And so we ask questions. We learn about what does Denora want for her daughter? What does her daughter Hannah want in a big sister? And then we'll go ahead and mention Reagan's name. And what does Reagan want as a big sister when she's thinking about a child that she'd like to work with? We take into consideration where they live here in Lincoln, what their ages are, because sometimes we have people that really have preferences. We had one little sister who recently wanted somebody younger. Well, anything over 25 was old to her. And she just really wanted somebody younger that was more like her sister than her mother. You know, that wasn't Hannah, by the way. And so we are very intentional when we take a look at all of that information and say, okay, you know, this match, they're both interested in sports. They're both interested in theater. It could be anything. We have a match that's been together about 3 years, and they both have an interest, nothing spectacular, but just love art. And so they go around all over the place and check out art shows and museums, and you know, the whole community of Lincoln is open to our matches to explore, to do what they want, but we're intentional when it comes to finding what is it that you're looking for? What do you picture is the best for you? And then match that up with the same on the other end.
That's great, because you do hear that a lot. Hearing these stories that come in here, a lot of times these people they get matched up, and they even find hobbies that the mentee teaches the mentor. I had one guy that all of a sudden started playing Destiny 2, a video game, which he had no idea what it was, and then all of a sudden him and his mentee, that's all they're doing together. So Denora, I kind of want to go back to you as a parent. It's probably a big decision that you had to think about quite a bit, because you're handing your kid over to a third party. You understand that this mentor is going to be spending a lot of time with your mentee. So how was your process going through that in a way, because you had to find a certain level of trust with big brothers and big sisters?
Exactly. I think I'm trying to think, how I got into, the little paper, the Big Brother and Big Sisters. I will say was from the school, and then just start to thinking, who is the person who is gonna come into my house, who is gonna get in contact with my kids. We always get nervous. Well, who is gonna come? But Big Brothers, Big Sisters does a very good job. Getting to you, start to doing this kind of interview and talking. What are your interests? What are the kind of what is your expectation about the person who is going to be in your child life? So they talk a lot about about respect the culture. What is your idea about what are the values? For me, was very important, the values. But I also want my child to be able to be exposed to this community and little things that I wasn't able to see. Oh, I was so mesmerized to see as an immigrant, but my babies, they need a little more, somebody who take their hands and go and explore. So they make a very good job, talking to you. They also being sure we have a background check, and also be sure they respect a lot your child, and they ask him about what your child wants and what are their expectations too. So this gives you a lot of relief. And we also have a coordinator, a person who is with us every time and is checking in you, like, what do you think? Is anything that I should know? Do you feel okay? And this question is for me, and this question is for my child, and this is just fantastic. I'm just saying, just a person that doesn't need to be like an expert, a doctor, it's somebody who just took my child's hand and they walk in the university, and they walk in downtown, or probably they have their wonderful events that the kids have so much fun.
Yeah, and especially hearing from Laura and Kyle, it seems like you guys set up great stuff consistently for these mentees and mentors to go and do. So, Kyle, I'll ask you this, and then I'll kind of let you set the table here as well on where we can find you guys before we go to break. So obviously, you guys seem to do a really good job finding mentors that match their mentees really well. So if someone wants to be a mentor and they're really thinking about it right now, what are the requirements? Do they need any sort of experience, or is this something they can just go to tomorrow and start signing up for some paperwork?
Well, in terms of like prerequisites, I'd say it's not a super long list, but there are some things to consider. For one, a mentor has to live in Lincoln. They have to be age 19 or older. They have to have a reliable form of transportation, because you're exploring the community,
right?
And you need to be able to meet consistently and get around. What else? A minimum commitment of 1 year of mentoring. So, like, if you're joining the program as a big, that's the minimum commitment and that we ask of you. Anything else, Laura?
Other than having a background check that doesn't show anything that would make us concerned, and positive references that also, everything that he said is absolutely correct.
Yeah, and because like you guys say, right, it's you're not expecting your mentors to go help a kid who's maybe struggling in school with his classes and help him study for homework. You're looking for someone to just listen, correct?
Yeah, to listen, to show up, and support a young person. And if you are interested in that sort of thing, what you can do is you can actually visit our Linktree. So if you go to linktree.com/BBBSL, BBBSL, that's 3 B's. If you go to linktree.com/BBBSL, there's a
a bunch of options like enroll a child or become a mentor. These are all just simple shortcuts that people can use to get to pages on our website for that right information.
Absolutely. And that's a good spot to put a cap on it. So again, if you guys are interested, please reach out. You can do that. You can contact us this way. You can head to the website. Again, like Kyle said, if you have any questions, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. This is the Big Brothers Big Sisters Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket weeknights. We'll be back right after this break.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of best. You can play those courses and more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Attention all Wings fans! 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
What happens when students come to school every day on time and ready to learn? They improve academically, become more responsible, manage their time well, and learn the value of education. Whether your child is starting preschool or preparing to graduate, family support and a great attitude towards education is important. Help your child come to school every day ready to learn. Make this the best school year yet.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Why do people hate alternate uniforms? What is the problem with the university or players wanting to have some type of fun? People are like, oh, well, Penn State and Michigan and Alabama, they don't change uniforms. They just go out there and they play football games. That's cool. You can do alternate uniforms and still be a blue blood. It's something that could attract recruits. And yes, I understand.
Yeah, as sad as that is.
Winning attracts recruits. That's all you need to do is win, play football. Shut up.
Weekdays from 1 to 2 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days. But one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Decreasing cloud cover and increasing temps. This afternoon, we should be able to hit 25 for the high, a west-southwest wind at around 10. Mainly clear and cold tonight with a low down to around 9. And tomorrow, the warm-up continues. We should reach a high of around 35. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and the ticketfm.com.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and the ticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. I am Harrison Arns running the board. We have the Big Brothers and Big Sisters Hour going on right now, going all the way up until 7 o'clock, and then we'll throw it to Kyle Perry for Uncut, and then we have Outside the Box with head coach Rocky Russo of the Lincoln Stars. So we're joined right now by Dinora Garcia, Laura, and Kyle as well. And over the break, we kind of got back to the conversation of the requirements for a mentorship. And Laura was kind of saying how you guys can take people from all walks of life, right? There's no real requirement in terms of profession that you guys are looking for.
Correct. I think you made the comment, do you need to be an expert?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if I'm sure Dinora is an expert in her household. Like I tried to teach my children that I was an expert, but really what we're looking for is someone who cares. You do not have to be an expert on anything. Or you can be an expert on everything. And so we're always looking for people who just want to spend time with a local youth. And we also talked about the age range. Kyle mentioned that you must be 19 because that's the age of an adult in the state of Nebraska, but there is no upper limit. And so, we want to make sure, we were talking a little bit earlier about Dinora's family and how a lot of her children had mentors that were UNL students. We have, I think we're getting ready to make a new match either this week or next week, where I believe the individual, he's a retired individual, and we want to make sure that everybody knows that that is totally acceptable. That is what we need. We need everyone from all walks of life. They all have something to share, and they all have value, and they will mean something to a local child.
Absolutely. And yeah, like you said, I mean, you gotta imagine we got these mentees or people that want to have a mentor and become a mentee. You can imagine they come from all walks of life. So it makes sense that you guys have mentors that match, as hobbies range wildly. As I find out every episode, you find new hobbies that these mentees and mentors enjoy doing. So Kyle, I want to throw this to you because another thing we discussed over the break is you guys are pretty much funded all entirely yourselves, at least in the Lincoln region. It's pretty much all on you guys to support this system and make sure that you guys have events, things you guys can do, enough money to support these meetings that you guys need to have. So Kyle, when it comes to fundraising, if you maybe don't have time to be a mentor, is there ways people can help?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're wanting to, maybe send us a donation, I mentioned earlier our Linktree page. It's linktree.com/BBBSL. And if you go to that page, there should be an option for you to donate to Big Brothers Big Sisters. It'll take you right to our donation page. You can also visit bbbslincoln.org/give. It'll take you to the same page as well. All of those funds go back towards our efforts here at Big Brothers Big Sisters. And what I mean by that is it helps fund our match activities, be it individual match activities or our monthly group match activities. It also goes back to supporting the training and recruitment of new mentors that join our program, and it also supports important aspects of our program, like match support and ensuring that our families receive adequate care from Big Brothers Big Sisters. And also another way that you can support us, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we're planning an event with Escape Lincoln for the weekend of February 24th through the 26th, and if you join that event, proceeds from that go back to us as well.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do because I've done those escape rooms and they'll humble you. If I think
hold on. There are 5 levels of difficulty. I got to throw that out there right now. So I mean, if you've never tried an escape room like me,
I'm sure that you can find your place there. but yeah, they are challenging.
Yeah, because I went straight to 5. I should have humbled myself a little bit. And, that's great that you guys do that. Because again, that's another story. I remember it was a mentor and a mentee, and the mentor was moving cautiously, and the mentee was just flying through the escape room. And it's like, well, the more you know, right? So when it comes to, you kind of gave some examples of where that money comes to, and we kind of in an era today where people, they just become a little more skittish of charities because we've had unfortunate groups that don't necessarily use the money the way they're saying it. So used for things like setting up these events like the escape rooms and things like that, as well as some of the paperwork. What else do you use that money for in terms of fundraising?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, the match activities are incredibly important. I mean, we encourage low cost activities just so that our matches are receiving, equal treatment across the board. But with close to 100 matches,
right,
just getting a cup of coffee together, that can really add up quickly over time. So it'll go back to that. And then we also do our monthly group match activities where we will partner with a local business or an organization to put together like a bigger match activity. Last week I mentioned our matches went to Make It Take It, and they participated in a paint splatter room. So I don't know if you've ever been to one before.
I've heard a lot of stories.
Yeah. I saw the pictures and it looks like a lot of fun. But yeah, it really helps us fund and support those activities.
And kind of speaking of those activities, Denora, do you have any activities in particular that you remember where the big brother or big sister, they went out with any of your kids and they just had a blast, and the kid was just had a smile on their face when they came home? Do you have any great stories that you remember?
I have a great story. I remember that they have like an activity at school. My daughter was trying to enjoy track, or running stuff, and this was the cold weather of Nebraska that I can imagine. Being outside and running and doing things. And I remember my husband had to work that Saturday, and I just got my baby, the little one. I think was the time or something. I wasn't healthy enough to run in the middle of the cold here in Nebraska in Pioneers Park. So we were looking for, somebody who can help Hannah, because Hannah really wants to run. And Reagan said, I will. I have amazing pictures. They will start running, the mile and 5 miles and things. And we would I get with my other two, and I said, let's just do, and you are awesome, Hannah and Reagan, and we make a cartels and put in there, and they were running. Oh, Reagan was just like, yes, this is my place, like playing cool. Then I saw her that she was like shaking, but Hannah and Reagan, they, by the end of the race, they enjoy with the medal. They were so proud and having pictures in Facebook. They just getting famous together. So yes, that was so wonderful, because you can see your child smile and growing, the support system, networking. This is what make families who struggle, or families who are in the fight all days to bring kids to be success. This is a dream of every parent. So when you're networking, when you have somebody in your life who is passionate about your child, and you see that child, smile to you, and yes, I am, and growing that confidence, and yep, that is me. So that is wonderful, and that is the miracle of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Lincoln.
Denora mentioned that they're famous, and they are famous because they're actually up on a billboard here in Lincoln.
Oh, no kidding.
Right now, her daughter Hannah and her big sister Reagan, you will see it in the intersection of 14th Street and Cornhusker Highway. It's on the southeast side of that intersection. If you're merging onto Cornhusker heading east, you look up and there's Hannah and Reagan.
Yes. I'll be sure to look for it, because that's impressive.
So they really are famous.
Yes.
That's impressive. I don't know if I could be able to run in the freezing. I know what that Nebraska cold gets like. Running in that, that's, again, shout out to you guys being able to find mentors and mentees that, you got to be wired some sort of level.
And I need to clarify, you are not required to be a runner to volunteer with us. luckily they have that interest in common, but it's not a requirement. We'll
Right.
find the right child for you.
I was gonna say, because that's a certain level of wiring, and again, that's why it's great that you have to have mentors and mentees that match, and that's why we need you guys to join in and get as much variety as possible. Because I believe we said the list is still around approximately 40 kids still on the list, so it's hard to see because you hear all these great stories, and I never come in here and I never have people come in here and it's like, oh, it didn't really work out for me. Feels like most of the time they come in here with a huge smile. So 402-464-5685. Again, you can reach out that way and we can answer any questions you might have. So Denora, I want to ask you another question. When it came to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters, did your kids keep that connection even when the process was all said and done and they were graduated?
Yes, I with their big brothers, and my big brother was Kurt. He's from Kansas. So he has his family in Kansas. We still there. He became the godfather of my son. So we became as a family. He comes to my house every Thanksgiving, one time awesome. A year. And I tell him compadre because he helped me with Abraham and and Hannah and Reagan. They are there all the time. And I'm just saying, I just want to say something. Like if you're gonna be having your mind, that be a big brother, big sister, right now is the time, and be ready to have your lives change, because you're gonna learn so much for your little one. You're gonna learn so much for probably another culture, or probably another way to go and fight for life and dream. So I think it's a win to win. So I will say, anybody who is listening right now, just call, get into media and Facebook, Instagram, and do the step now. It's too many people that you can add to their lives and to your life too.
Yeah, and I like what you said there, because it's a win-win, right? So I'll open this one up to both of you, Laura and Kyle. And she said that connection stayed even after the process was all said and done. Is that something you guys see often, where that connection's still strong post-graduation?
Absolutely. I was just thinking about some of the matches that we had just graduate last May, and how I know that they're still getting together. We have a closure process that we formally close the match once the child or youth, I should say youth, because by the time they're in high school, they're a youth. Once they graduate, we do close that match relationship formally through the program, which basically means that we are no longer going to be offering that match support, making sure, there's the safety concerns, making sure that everything is going smoothly for everyone. But they will continue that friendship. And I just got an email from a mom earlier today. She signed up her younger children, but her oldest daughter graduated in May, and she just kept talking about how the big sister has continued to be a big part in their lives. The cool thing about social media, I know sometimes social media can get a bad rap, and I see that too. But a lot of times we'll have people reach out to us through Messenger on Facebook saying, I was in the program 30 plus years ago. I'm going to send you this picture. This is me and my little, and we still are connected. So one of the cool things about social media, even if you don't live in the same town anymore, we hear those stories all the time of matches still being connected, still being in each other's lives, even to this day after 30 plus years of graduation.
That's incredible. Kyle, you got anything to add to that? She might have said it all for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can add a very similarly. I mean, in my role, I do a lot of tabling for the program. I'll do a lot of outreach, be it at events in the city or maybe at universities here in town. But really, one of the more common things that happens is a person will come up and tell me about how they were a mentor once in the program, or that they were a little, or that their child was involved in the program. And yes, it's very often that they tell me that they're still in contact with them. Sometimes, maybe 10 years will pass and then they'll reconnect, or they'll stay connected right after the match ends, which is honestly most of the time that's the case. They stay connected after the match, but I've heard quite a few stories, all from those categories from during the times that I've done outreach, and it really makes the work that we do worth it for sure.
Absolutely, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because again, it's one of those things that if you're thinking about it, it's not like you're giving all the sacrifice. You're going to get a lot more out of it. As I hear every time the show comes up, it seems like a win-win where you're going to walk away learning not just about your mentee, but a lot about yourself as well. And you guys both kind of grow in that same direction, and it kind of goes both ways. So we have to throw it to break here, though. This is the Big Brothers and Big Sisters Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket weeknights. I am Harrison Arns running the board. We have special guest Dinora Garcia, Laura, and Kyle all here with us as well. We'll be back right after this break.
A new year means new goals and upgrading, but that doesn't only apply to health and fitness. Mullen Motors can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2023 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2022 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Lake.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. And has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether residential or commercial buildings, apartments or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsrats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. The best way to strengthen our economy for the long term is investing in our education system and raising the skills of American workers. To succeed in the global economy, we need to modernize our schools, hire excellent teachers, and focus on the future. Support great public schools, and we can make the good life even better.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. It's a new year. One resolution that should be a priority is to make reading a part of your child's daily routine. Kick off the new year by making reading a priority in your home. Read to your children. Let them read to you. Make every day an opportunity to sharpen your child's language skills while expanding their vocabulary and knowledge.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey, Declan Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.3% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, karaoke Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why I am Hunger at America.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, and the Ad Council.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, travel and support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technology. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 16th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. I am Harrison Arns running the board. We have special guests, Nora Garcia, Laura, and Kyle, all with us here for the Big Brothers and Big Sisters Hour right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Again, last chance to chime in if you guys have any questions. The Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. You can call in at the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Same number, 402-464-5685. So we got a little bit of time here. We got about 5 minutes. And in closing, I always kind of want to go around and kind of give elevator pitches or maybe even some final last stories or some good moments on if you're on the fence, if you're still listening right now, I have an idea that you're at least considering it. What might be that last bit of advice on maybe why you should become a mentor?
We all look at Kyle.
I'll go for it. Yeah. I mean, look at it this way. You have a opportunity to create a genuine impact for a young person by providing them exposure to a community that fosters all sorts of different subcultures. So, I mean, I think that Big Brothers Big Sisters in Lincoln in particular really, really shines in that regard. It's just that our community has a lot to offer, and you know, through that relationship that you form with a young person, I mean, you may find that it's not only benefiting them but also benefiting you, because I mean, speaking from seeing our matches, I can tell that the impact goes both ways. I also think it's just I think it's so important for young people to, you know, be able to explore and see the things that they're interested in. I think I said it last week. When I was younger, I could go as far as my bicycle could take me, and I think that speaks very true, especially in a community like Lincoln. It provides an outlet that provides a genuine impact and helps, you know, better future generations. I can go on forever and ever about it because I care a lot about mentoring, but I'll pass it off to Laura.
Well, I think listening to what Kyle had to say, and you know, when I grew up, it was the kind of the same way. We actually grew up in the same hometown, but you knew your neighborhood, and you could go as far as that neighborhood until the street lights went off, or get on your bike and explore I lived close to Hastings College, and so we would play at Hastings College a lot on campus. But I think something that really resonated with me, and I've thought this always before, but when Denora was just talking here briefly, and she's like, it allows the youth and the children that we serve, they can dream big. And I don't think anyone can say it better. She says it the best with her enthusiasm and her personal experience. But I think just being there to help support these bright-eyed, beautiful children, just help them dream big. And I will let you.
No, I just say, like, this time, the world is crazy,
Yeah.
and it's very difficult, and it's very difficult also communicated between generations, even if it was just a little bit, my kids are a little bit of years, behind me, but I'm just saying, like, it's very difficult to communicate when a big brother came to your life, help to broke or to do this bridge between ways to think and understand, and you're a little feel like he's understood too. And I will say, in these difficult times, when sometimes we feel depressed, we feel like is the things are not worth it, when you became a big, you are an extra person for another one, and you are doing something for another one, and that will give you life, and that will give you a reason. So just have this take this courage, and it's awesome. As soon as you jump and you have a match, the fun just started. So just do it now.
Yeah, and I like what you guys all said. And one thing you guys kind of all had in common too is it exposes you to the whole community, right? And as DP always says, you can't ever have too many mentors, and it's a big thing because especially you can imagine that COVID era, those kids lost quite a bit of time in school when they would be communicating to their classmates. So to have a mentor kind of fill in those voids, it's a great thing. And again, please, if you guys are interested, Kyle, where can they reach you?
You can go to linktree.com/BBBSL to learn everything you can about Big Brothers Big Sisters. Get involved, become a mentor, enroll your child, join our newsletter, maybe donate if you're feeling extra generous. Either way, thanks again for having us here today, Harrison.
Thank you, Harrison.
Absolutely.
Yes,
you guys
very
are
much.
great. And again, it's a great cause on top of it. Definitely reach out if you're curious. But appreciate you guys chiming in today. That's it for us on Ticket Weeknights. We have Kyle Perry Uncut up next. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.